All right, guys. We are hopefully live and in the building. Um, Caleb says Inca's late. I'm like 1 minute late, man. But I appreciate all you guys that are here already joining the stream. I am doing this with the restream thing this time, just so I can put maybe some of the chats on the screen. My guy Effin Mint is in the house. What's up, bro? He says. I'm miserable doing colonoscopy prep. So, guys, when you get to be old men, you have to do colonoscopy preps. I have to say that I recently did a colonoscopy, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The prep, actually, none of it was. None of it was. I don't know. I guess this is probably TMI, but when I fast and I break a fast, for some reason, um, it is a like I have a basically a diarrhea response, and so I feel like I'm prepping every time I fast. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. Hopefully your experience isn't going to be that bad. What's up, Mara Thomas? What's up? I see the regulars in here. Doc 72. I see my guy Pegane Main, my guy Sovereign, my guy Vendetta. So oof. Uh, so yeah, guys, let me see. Let's get right into the let's see, what is it? Is the graphics that I can change up? No, it's the captions that I can change up. So let's just go right into the QA. Actually, before I go into the QA, a couple of things I want to say, guys. So, I've been wearing this sweatsuit pretty much everything. So, you guys can't really see the changes that I've been making to my physique, but I am significantly leaner than I used to be. And so I I yeah, and so with that, my fat pad is disappearing again, and so, I never really let myself go. I probably got up to maybe about like 18%, like a legit 18% body fat. So many people are nope, nope, don't do it, don't do it. So many people have no concept of what actual body fat percentages are, and oh, look at me, I'm 15% body fat. Oh gosh, it's just so annoying. But anyways, I was like legit 18% body fat. Now I'm down probably closer to about 14%, maybe 13% on a really good day. And my fat pad is so much smaller, guys. And just looking down, like my D looks bigger. And I know you guys think that I don't know if you think I say that too much or whatnot, but I mean, guys, I'm telling you, like getting lean. I don't have that much muscle mass right now, and so it's crazy, man. I used to be like a peeled. I see you guys commenting. "Dur, dur, dur, ba, dur." Yeah, that's how so many people actually sound to me with some of the dumbass shit they say. It just makes no sense. Gosh, but anyways, so yeah. So, anyways, man, what were we talking about? So there's that, and oh yeah, and actually, before we get into it, I do want to talk about. So, if you guys haven't seen the last video I made, I gave you guys a heads up before about the that paper that I read. To me, like I was not trying to be like clickbaity YouTube. Oh my god, this changes everything. Like I follow this guy. What's his name? His name is like he goes by Microphone, and he talks about a lot of NBA, but every other video is like this changes everything. This changes everything. Um and it just really gets really annoying. So I really try not to overutilize that phrase just because um I try to only use it for things that legitimately change the way I think or the way I practice. And that Man, but that paper that just legitimized it, like, yeah, dude, pumping increases length and girth. The expert consensus. And not only that, but actually proposing a mechanism of mechanotransduction to actually achieve that. That is groundbreaking. I mean, to have that in a peer-reviewed, published journal, okay, to have that to say without a, well, I mean, you could still doubt it because there's not the greatest data, and this was an expert consensus. It wasn't a randomized trial, but still to have that data that you can point to all the people that, oh, PE is not real, even Rena Malik. I'm not trying to like sneak diss her. For the most part, I don't know that I'll say I like her work, but She does give some good stuff, and she gives helpful tips about what is the true average and what is not. But the point is that now I can be like, look, Rena, freaking experts say you can enlarge the size of your penis through pumping. Not to mention that, but things like extenders, penile traction, and so or whoever else. Um, so yeah. So anyways, I thought that was a tremendous tremendous paper, and I hope you guys enjoy that video. If you haven't seen it, check that out. Um, so sorry guys. I know I'm just doing some right now. I know there's hey my guy Bryson. I appreciate you, bro. Bryson, you once again, guys, I'm a man of my word. I was a little bit delayed, even though I didn't say like I have a week to do my swear jar Sunday donation, but I donated to Bryson's fundraiser again, and I even gave an additional $25 just because it was a bit delayed. So, anyways, man, let's get into it. So, guys, I'm gonna basically scroll down. I see Caleb, and he says the only person I'm convinced can whoop my ASS is Jadink. Um, Jadinklage Morgoon is a unit. Is a unit. I mean, dude is peeled at like 220. And I forgot how tall he is. But he's like he's somewhere pretty close to actually my height. I've met up with him several times. But he's like at least 6'3", at least 6'3". Anyways, man, but he is strong as an ox. That dude, I would not F with him. I love being around him because I feel like he's my enforcer. we we did he came with me when I went to LA, and he came with me on one other business meeting and anyways, so my guy B51 Jimmy, he says, do you ever go over mechanotransduction in the video? What does that mean to the layman? So I've talked about this in several of my videos, and I don't use the word mechanotransduction just because I think that questions like this come about. And unlike other people that are in this space that try to use big fancy words to make you think they're smart, I try to break things down because I'm not trying to seem like I'm smarter than anybody else. Okay. And it helps me to understand it. Now, um, mechanotransduction is basically I've talked about how you have stretch receptors that are in your collagen, and so in your fibroblasts, and that when they are exposed to a stretch stimulus that they can respond accordingly. And so it just mechanotransduction just means literally the act of having a having a stretch stimulus lead to changes within the penile tissue in the simplest phases. And I've been talking about that since I was talking about even from the earliest one. Once again, guys, I'm not deep into this. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, I'm the first person. I'm Hank. I'm the smartest man there is. I'm the only person that ever thought of this. But I was the first person that I ever saw that talks about actually PE more like an aneurysmal dilation, okay, or a basically a stretching and I want to say diluting, but that's not the right term. Dilation. There we go. A dilation of the actual penile tissue over time that leads to enlargement. And that's essentially exactly what they said in the paper. And it was. I know that this sounds arrogant as crap, guys, but like I swear these guys have at the very least been on the different subreddits and read the actual theories provided by people that actually use real science to actually explain things from a legitimate perspective. And so yeah, man. Uh, so yeah, I don't go over explicitly what mechanotransduction is in that video, but I do kind of briefly explain it. So check it out if you have not, guys. Um, yeah, man. And so my guy Sovereign, thank you, bro. He says, thanks to you, I already have BDE. I love that, man. Guys, I mean, once again, you can have BDE is about the E, the energy at the end. It is not about the actual size of your member. So just keep that. So I appreciate that very much. Uh, Man, and guys, I hold a grudge like nobody else you'll ever believe in your entire life. I promise that. And that's why it's so important, guys. Like I can't emphasize this enough. never screw me over. Like, not even once, not even if it's an accident. I mean, if you can avoid it. Guys, look, I've made mistakes, okay? There are things that I regret deeply in my life, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, but I am the type of person that, especially if you screw me over, like it's it. That's it. You're done. I have a list, and it's called the "fuck you for life" list. And if you screw me over, you get put on that list. Um, where am I going with this? I was going somewhere with this. I don't know. But the point is, you can have have a big D energy without having a big D. So where was I going with that, man? It sucks having this brain in here because I have. If you guys haven't figured it out, I have severe attention disorder. Okay, I'm not gonna be. Oh my god, I'm like every other freaking. I don't know. I have anxiety and depression, and I have to be on all these meds. Like, no, I don't. I personally don't believe in that. I think if you have anxiety, if you have depression, it's probably a response to something in your life and a symbol that maybe you need to do something to change that. Not for everybody, okay? But I do think there are people that use medications as a shortcut. Okay, some, not all. There are some people that absolutely have severe clinical depression, needs to be on mood stabilizers, have disorders within their own chemical system in their brain. But for me, I know I have ADHD without a doubt, and I basically self-medicate through caffeine and just learning how to manage it. But so when my brain gets all squirrely and I jump from one topic to another and I forget things, just try to have some patience with me, guys. Like that. So my guy Jamie says Hink has been validated, bro. Like it was very validating. I mean, once again, and I'm sorry, if I sound like a cocky, arrogant douchebag in this, I don't intend to. I guess I'm just naturally gifted in that way. But like every single point they made, it's just so validated. Guys, I spend so much time trying to pour through the data to actually to bring data that actually makes sense and is scientifically sound. And like every single paragraph in that paper has a point that I have made before. And so once again, it was so validating to read the experts consensus say things like don't have suspensory ligament surgery, be careful with fat injections because you can get an embolism from it, never do something like a pneuma implant because it's experimental and has bad outcomes. If you get suspensory ligament surgery, there's about a 50% chance you will need some sort of revision surgery afterwards. And it only improves the appearance of a bigger flaccid. Pumping works for both length and girth, and here's the mechanism by which it works. And so, anyways, guys, um, spoiler alert, guys, I'm actually one of the authors on that paper. I'll let you see the author list and guess which one I am, but I am. That's why I like that paper so much, and that's why it's verbatim everything I said. Oh man. But anyways, man. Hey, my guy Nacho Wookie. So Nacho, I've recorded the discoloration video. I have the thumbnail for the discoloration video. I'm probably gonna go live with the discoloration video on Friday. Probably. Because I did say I wanted to get it out there before February. Um, so I'm probably gonna do it then. Now, guys, call me call me a scammer, call me a douchebag, call me, whatever you want, but I'm just going to tell you how it is, okay? I already have added the equipment section to my course, okay? How to set up a vacuum cap, how to get a good seal. This is featuring my guy 19 Expansion, okay? He helped me out because he is very well versed in the equipment. I would say probably better than I don't know, maybe anybody else in the scene as far as like all of the different types of equipment that he has used. And so he helped me out, recorded some videos for me. And so we talk about hanging, we talk about all day stretchers, how to set up the waist stretcher, how to set up the leg constraint, compression hanging, putting on sleeves, vacuum caps. All of that has already been updated into my course. Okay. I have already recorded the discoloration section to my course that I take you through. So in the discoloration video, I take it's still going to be like a 20-minute video, guys. It's a long video, but I take you through like why it happens, what you can do about it, and like basically an abbreviated version of a step by step. But in the course, it's going to be like very clear. Step one, do this. Step two, do this. Step three, do this, according to me. So especially when that comes, guys, like the price of the course is going up. Okay, so anyways, I'm trying to give you a heads up that if you're interested in the course, you're debating it, any time you buy the course, all of the updates you get for free. Okay, there is nothing else like this that is as comprehensive everything, pumping, clamping, maybe not clamping, maybe not clamping is in there, but equipment setup, all that stuff is in there. So, anyways, but the price is going to go up, and so I don't want Hank raise the price. Yes, because I've added several hours of content. There's already a bathmate section in the video. Anyways, man, uh, my guy Caleb says Hink dropped 4% body fat, but won't start the fitness challenge. You fake man. I'll tell you guys. I really like the term bandwidth because I think it encompasses like if you guys knew a fraction of the things that I was dealing with, and I'm not even talking about cosplaying as a doctor in a hospital, okay? I mean just the other things that I'm dealing with that are Hink related. Um, like I don't know. To me it's insane. To me it's insane. And there's a whole lot of fucking bullshit that I'm dealing with right now. Um, and so I only have in the process of doing what I'm doing, which you guys will know about soon enough. I'm very excited about that. But in the process of doing that, dealing with other bullshit, and then trying to make sure I still record content for this channel, um, and then on top of that, having a full time job, it's amongst other obligations that I have, it's a lot, man. And so that is an excuse, guys. That is by definition an excuse why I have not started the fitness challenge. Um, but I'm going to be going on a brief vacation for a few days. My first vacation in about a year. Uh, but I'm going to be taking about a 4-day weekend. And so, like Thursday and Friday, no, it's Monday and Tuesday, as well as Saturday and Sunday. And so during that, I'm going to try during my downtime on my vacation to write up the Hink Fitness Challenge. I mean, that's whatever. Oh my God, I'm Hink. I'm so dedicated. I work so hard. I'm Hink. Look at me. Um, so my guy Intimacy Nutrition Doc said, did Rena read the paper? I doubt it. I doubt it. Rena Malik is she's a celeb. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she's a celebrity. If in my opinion, if you have over 1 million followers and you're on YouTube, like 1 million people know who you are, you're a celebrity. And so she's doing podcasts and all stuff that all this kinds of stuff. So yeah, man. Uh My guy Ballantier says, "Hello, Hink. I have a couple of questions about politics and circumcision." Let's do it, bro. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. What do you guys want to talk about? Okay. Yeah, let's do it, bro. That's funny. That is really funny, man. All right. So my guy I Ranger. He says been pumping 2.5 weeks and went from 4 inches of mercury one day to 6 inches of mercury and got petechia for the first time. 1 second. One second, guys. Well, the window of me getting lucky just closed. My girl just said, I'm tired. I'm getting in the bed. Have fun choosing your bros over your sexy ass wife. But, I guess such is life. But anyways, man, he said, I lowered to 5 inches of mercury, then 4 inches of mercury, but now I always get it. Do I need to take a break and fully heal, and for how long? So, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, when in doubt, always take a break, man. I don't think there's a situation when you're going to regret taking a break. Now, there's a couple questions that I have. So first of all, when you increase the pressure like that, oftentimes what can happen is yeah, I mean, so you rupture the little blood vessels, okay? Your blood vessels take some time to heal. And so if you rupture your blood vessel, get petechia, and then pump the very next day, you probably, I mean, imagine that you had a scab that formed and then like you immediately break off the scab the next day. That's not going to help you heal. I would recommend you take at least a full 7 to 10 days off, okay? And when you do go back, you need to start back at 4 inches of mercury. I'm not sure how quickly you progressed because you said one day, then the next day. But if I were you, I would do, I'm going to call this the Caleb method. Okay. It's not quite what Caleb talked about on his live stream with me as far as how he does his pressure, but I'm going to call it the Caleb method because I'm going to show my boy some love. But what I would do is, let's say you do one warm up set. Okay. And I would say, let's say 3 inches of mercury. Okay, you want to start low, and then after your warm-up set, 3 to 5 minutes at 3 inches of mercury, then increase. Then go to 4 inches of mercury sets. Okay, uh, you should not get the petechia starting back at 4 inches of mercury. And for the first week, I would just do whatever many other sets you want to do at 4 inches of mercury. Let's just say 3 sets of 4 inches of mercury. Then the next week, I would do the first 2 sets at 4 inches of mercury, and then maybe the last set increase to 5 inches of mercury, and make sure the red dots don't come back. Then the next week after that, you could do your warm-up set at 3, your first set at 4, and then do the following 2 sets at 5. And so basically each week, one set, you move up by 1 inch of mercury. Okay, and so hopefully that gradual progression, because guys, I made a video about this. Okay, speaking of mechanotransduction, but there is a study where they actually took basically grafted cells and actually exposed them to pressure and watched how the collagen responded in the blood vessels. And with more pressure exposure over time, you actually develop more collagen and your blood vessels become more resistant to pressure changes. And so you can literally build up a tolerance to higher pressure, or as some people say, conditioning of your tissue. And so yeah, bro, hopefully that should help. I know I have been my guy B51, he says, I like vocab. It's descriptive, but sometimes it can come off as pompous. But I appreciate your explanations. Yeah, always. I appreciate that, man. As part of my Batman training, um, I trained at a program that had a strong emphasis on, especially the bedside manner portion of it. And one of the most important things that they emphasize is making sure that the patients understand what you're trying to say. Okay. And so I personally try to make it my mission to not try to overcomplicate things, to not try to impress you guys with my massive diction. Yes, diction, guys, aka word choice. But I try not to use fancy language. It just I don't think that's helpful for anybody to do that, unless you're trying to come off as a uh, let's see. Dun, dun. So my guy, so my guy, RG says, hey Hank, why have you not been replying to my messages, bro? I mean, why match on Grinder if you're not going to chat? My bad, bro. I've been busy. I'll get back to you. I promise. I promise. Let me pull up my app right now. Oh, that's hilarious, bro. Oh my gosh. So my guy Sovereign says, as an African American, I always compared myself to adult stars, and you destroyed my entire worldview. I hope in destroying meaning like I destroyed it in a good way, and not I don't know how that would be a bad way, but especially guys, I mean, once again, you can see I'm basically as light as my like emblem right there. But I've always identified as black, whatever that means to whatever you guys want to think it means. But the point is that when you're tall and black, people expect certain things, or if you're just black in general. And it really sucks to not have a BBC and people expect that. And so I'm not saying it sucks more than like being Asian and people expect you to have a smaller thing when really, the sizes are pretty much average across the board, especially if you're like an Asian American. But, anyways, man, so I feel for you, and hopefully I've been able to help. And I need to make another. I need to make another video. Uh, so my guy Philip Sancott says, "Can you get stronger holding grudges?" No, no, I can't. Let me be clear though. Like people who f me over, okay? It's not like I spend time perseverating. Like I move on, okay? There's like several years ago, there was a guy that was effing with me in the community, and I won't say effing with me. He was just a prick. He was just a prick, and I'm like to his credit, he's reached out and tried to like make pseudo amends. I thought it was kind of it was one of those, like, apologies, "I'm sorry if you felt that way," kind of apology, not like, "Hey, man, I effed up," and so, and I kind of accepted that, but, like, but no, he's dead to me. Like, I will never collaborate with this guy, I will never work with this guy, I will never plug any of his product. Like, I will never do that again, but I'm not harboring animosity towards him. This is just, like, you had a chance to not be a fucking asshole, and you were, and so that's it. That's it, and so there's some more extreme cases of that, and but what is it, seeking revenge is like you drinking poison and expecting to hurt the other person, and so I'm very cognizant of that, and so I try not to have any kind of negative energy in that regard. um I just pray that there is actual karma for shitty people on this planet, and um yeah, but it's not for me to get like revenge or anything, even though my favorite comic is The Punisher, for exactly that reason. This isn't revenge, this is punishment. I love that shit, man. So anyways, my guy, my Misty Mountain Hop, he says, any peptides for bulging disc pain? So talk to your doctor. I'm a clown in a mask in my mom's basement eating hot pockets. Okay, don't listen to anything I say. That being said, there is a peptide, okay? It's called, you guys, I'm sure, know about BPC 157, body protective compound 157, okay? Now, guys, we're not talking about what peptides can make my pee bigger. I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about this guy who has bulging disc pain. Now, there is a complex, it's BPC 157, and it's combined with what we call KPV, which is lysine, proline, and valine, I believe, the amino acids, but it basically forms a natural anti-inflammatory. Okay, so like a natural Advil. I know several people recently that have laboratory rats, because this is not for human consumption, that have had unbelievable. I mean, I know a guy that was in such pain, because I'm old, guys, and my friends are old, and we have things like hip pain and back pain. But my friend, he literally has a. It's not quite sciatica, but it's a similar process where he has a basically a narrowed nerve foramen or hole, um, basically, and he couldn't walk more than several yards without like stopping to kind of stretch that out. He started on this, and within a day, like he thought it was placebo. He was feeling so much better, and so I am a believer of it. I personally have a lab rat that had a major hip injury that was lagging, would not heal. And within 3 days of taking KPV, the lab rat that I own had a significant improvement in his pain. And so talk to your doctor. But that is one thing I would consider looking into, just looking into BPC KPV complex. And at least the version that my lab rat has is an oral tablet. Okay. My lab rat also has things like GERD, other old things that old people get, and it has actually made a big difference for that too. Uh, so yeah, so I'm just gonna try to scroll down, guys, because I know I've been yapping my brains out. If you guys don't mind, we have over 112 people in here right now. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, I wonder if it'll do this one here. I would very much appreciate that and take that as a personal favor. If you decide you don't want to, that's totally understandable as well. But I appreciate it if you were to do that. And also, if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. I have like a week to get an additional like 700 subscribers, guys. So I can get to 70K by the end of February. It's not gonna happen, but I don't know, man. I'd appreciate any subscription that you have. It's an arbitrary goal, guys, I know, but yeah, I'd appreciate it, man. So I'm gonna scroll down. Let's see. My guy AG on YouTube, he says, I bought, thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I bought that ball size comparison bead thing. I don't know what that means, bro. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I don't know what that means. Uh, Thank you for the super chat. Maybe try to clarify. And I will do my best to address that, man. And my guy Server, and again, I don't know why your messages are sticking out to me today, bro. But he says, "Oh my gosh, I almost had that suspensory ligament surgery before I got exposed to hink content, man. It's crazy, guys. let me tell you something. I work in a hospital where I dress up as Batman to make people happy. Okay, and I do the voice and everything. Um, but surgeons, there are good surgeons, and there are m- just like anything, guys. There are money hungry surgeons that will do the wrong thing for you because they can bill you for it. I promise you that. So please be careful. This includes even some doctors that I know of, my clients have gone to that have had Peyronie's disease, and the doctors want to do all of this crazy crap that is not what I would say the standard of care. What do I know, guys? I cosplay as Batman in a hospital. I'm a clown in a mask. Don't listen to me about anything, but just be careful, man. Because if you go to a doctor to because you're interested in the implant or the pneuma implant, they are going to make it seem like it's the latest greatest thing. There's essentially no side effects, and you're going to be great. That is not reality. So I'm glad you were able to check that out, or I got to you before that surgery because who knows? I'm sure there's some people that are happy with it, but I really feel like most people are not. Uh, so my guy, Saul, he says, "What up, Hink? You're the goat." I appreciate it, man. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for taking this second to send that message, man. Um, my guy, Jadinklage Morgoon, he says, "Hink, what it do, baby? What's up, at Caleb? Thanks for the reminder." Uh, And yeah, so Jading, we were actually just talking about you, bro, how you're strong as an ox, and like the several times that I always feel good about myself until I see Jadink. I forgot where we were, man. But me and Jadink just don't walk around with masks in public. But I was just looking at him like, bro, you are a handsome man. Like, I mean, I think Jadink is happily married too. But I'm like, damn, bro, like he's just like he's got these cheekbones. He's just got this. I mean, I don't want to sound like a Gen Z or maybe Alpha, but he just has this aura. Okay, like he has aura. Pink, no aura whatsoever. Whatever negative aura is, but Jadinkla just has this freaking aura, man. I'm just like, damn, bro, can I be you? Um, he also has one of the nicest watches I've seen in person, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, let's see. All right, I am going to my guy Uncle JP. Okay, all right. Thank you for your sacrifice, bro. Prepare to get flamed. No, I'm not gonna flame you, bro. So he says everybody says joking is unsafe. How can I make it safe? In my opinion, the nature of joking, you cannot make it safe. I have heard some very unfortunate things about like ways to potentially modify joking that alleviates the problem. And I do not think that there is a way that you can safely joke. Okay. I don't care if you use two fingers or one finger, you stand on your head instead of holding it like this, you hold it like you can't make joking safe, in my opinion. Okay. Now, that being said, there are guys that have joked and have joked for years and have gained from it. More power to them, bro. There's guys every day that drive without a seatbelt and don't get in a car accident. It doesn't mean that it's safe to do that. I'm telling you, I do injury coaching. I also do enlargement coaching, guys. Patreon.com/DocKink. I can't tell you how many emails I get a day that says, "Hey, do you do coaching?" Yes, bro, I do. Patreon.com/DocKink. Okay. But I have guys that without a doubt, believe this might blow you guys' mind. The top two causes of injuries that for people that I coach is jelking and actually just choking your chicken, okay? Stroking your beef. Believe it or not, those are the two most common injuries that I get. Not manual stretches, not extending, not hanging, not pumping. Jelking and stroking your beef. I can't tell you how many guys I've coached with hard flaccid that have never done PE a day in their life. They just had maybe some potentially unorthodox ways of stroking their own beef. And so anyways, man, so please don't joke. I would just say that, don't joke. There's other ways, like clamping in my opinion is vastly more safe than joking. Okay, and you don't have to have a equipment. You can clamp just using your hand as a manual clamp. It takes some grip strength. This is called your thenar compartment, guys. Your thumb right there, your thenar compartment. Okay, so it might take some some thenar compartment strength, but yeah. So um, the point is, please don't joke. Please don't joke. Please don't joke. The expert consensus paper said, don't joke. It doesn't work. At most, it causes temporary gains and it leads to injury. Okay. The same exact effing thing that I have been saying since I came onto the scene. Ugh, ugh, gosh. I said, oof, man, just the anger God, that I still have for some people that just give terrible fucking advice, man. Um, just terrible fucking advice. God. And somehow they, anyways, man, you can't make joking unsafe. I mean, yeah, there's a way you can make joking unsafe is if you don't do it, or if you do it extremely lightly to the point where you're just basically giving a lymphatic massage to your D. Those are the ways to do it. So, anyways, all right. So let me. I'm scrolling down to the bottom, guys. I'm done a lot of yapping, so I want to catch up. So my guy Sovereign sent another super chat, and he said, "Question above." Sovereign. Okay, so here's my only question, Papa Hink. Ooh, I like that, bro. I don't know if you guys were there on the last chat when we talked about the Poppy versus Daddy versus Baby in bed. What's better? But yeah, you can call me Papa Hink. I like that. That's what I'm. Let me change my grinder profile right now. Papa Hink. Okay. Um, so he says, I'm planning to start PE after dropping a good few body fat percentage points. What's a good routine to pump and use an extender daily? I want to maximize newbie gains. So the once again, guys, I don't think that there's anything particularly uh, complicated or fancy or anything like that. You just need to make sure you're applying enough tension using your extender. I would say at minimum, there is data, guys, that only 30 minutes of extender will still get you significant gains. And so now that is for Peyronie's disease, not for small penis syndrome, which is what they call basically people with normal penises that want a bigger penis. Um, I call it just being a man, but yeah, so at least 30 minutes, if not man. Sorry, IND just text me. Oh, and he said lots of super chats to catch up on. All right, I appreciate you, IND. But every time I get a text, like I said on my phone during a live, I just assume like my meat is out or something went horribly wrong or I'm muted. Uh, but anyways, that's what I would say. So make sure you're using an extender. I would say at least 45 minutes to an hour. Make sure you're using a tension that's strong enough where your stretch bone pressed stretch flaccid length is growing on a consistent basis. And then when you pump, I would say a warm up set, 3 to 5 minutes, and then 3 to 4 working sets of 5 minutes or less. Okay. And that is, and I mean, I think it's as simple as that. If you want more detail, of course, just check out my pumping playlist or my extender playlist on my YouTube channel here. And of course, bro, you want to support your boy. You're making it rain on your boy Hink with super chats. Consider my course, man. Um, let's see here. Sovereign question above. My guy Mara Thomas says the best angle for D Pics, without a doubt. Without a doubt, the best angle is from basically from underneath coming up. And so your D is in the foreground and everything else is behind you. Okay. Because my hand is right here. My hand is whatever, about the size of my head. Okay. But if I have my hand in the foreground, my hand looks twice the size of my meat. Okay. And so, there's tricks. What's the guy's name? I always forget the guy's name. Damian Daysky. Okay. He'll be like, now, guys, this is an old Mountain Dew. I didn't finish it. Okay. I do love Mountain Dew. I think it's delicious. I know it's not good for you. I don't care. I love it. Okay. I don't drink it regularly. But what Damien will do is he'll have his meat here, and then he'll take the bottle and he'll move it back just a little bit in perspective and make it look like his meat is gigantic compared to the bottle, when in actuality, they're more like the same size, okay? So just have an object and have it in the background. That'll be significantly bigger. It'll make it look bigger. I think that's without a doubt. And so I would say, even like, basically, if you're sitting in a chair, put the phone on the ground and shoot from the top up. Okay, I don't know, man, but the best angle is make sure you have the angle of consent and make sure that they want a D pic. And so, but if, let's just say you were sending it to your boy Hink, to my Grinder account, yeah, that's what I would want to see. All right, so all right, let me scroll down. Let me just I'm just trying to make fun of myself. And so my guy, Stow for Faust. I'm not commenting on any supplement situation right now. And so I know that's the second time you sent that message. I'm not ducking it. I'm not commenting on anything supplement related right now. Okay. My guy Jimmy, hey, I appreciate the super chat. Let's put this bad boy on the screen. He says, so thank you, bro. Very generous. He says, if more pressure equals more collagen equals plateau, how can you tell you're hitting that high pressure threshold? Is it a feel or a number? Routine 200 to 300 millimeters HG, 15 to 30 minutes daily, 5-minute sets. Went from 4.7 to 4.9 in 3 months. That's I mean, great gains, bro. So 300 millimeters of mercury. Why do you guys make me use my brain? So, oh yeah, well, 300 millimeters of mercury is like 11.8 inches of mercury. And so, just to be clear, I'm gonna kind of quibble with myself here because I know I have said kind of very potentially misleading things. It's not necessarily the more collagen makes you plateau. I personally believe that the more collagen deposition you have, the harder it is going to be to stretch that tunica. That is, I mean, like, there are people that seemingly at least slightly disagree with me. I don't know. Maybe they don't, but the thicker an object is, the harder it is going to be to stretch, just by definition. Okay. Now that being said, my problem is not necessarily with collagen secretion. I do think that that is a bad thing. I do think it is not a good idea to supplement with additional collagen. Okay, you get enough collagen through the meats and whatever foods that you eat during the day. The problem is that when you stimulate the fibroblasts, the cells that make the connective tissue in your body, they secrete collagen, but oftentimes that stimulation will also secrete Lysyl Oxidase, okay, the glue that binds the collagen together to make it stickier. And so, without a doubt, there is evidence that, once again, it's not PP evidence, but it's evidence in labs and with different sort of graphs and whatnot, that the stronger the stretch stimulus is, the more Lysyl oxidase is going to have, and literally the less ability you are going to have to actually stretch your penis, okay, or stretch the tissue, okay. And so that is what I am more concerned about. Now, the longer, or the rest of your question, to me, it is not necessarily a number. I do think it's a feel, because I think for a lot of these products, you can't trust that it's calibrated 100%. And so if I say don't exceed 200 millimeters of mercury, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if I were to say that and you were like, all right, I can't exceed 200 millimeters of mercury, but your pump is off by 25 millimeters of mercury, you could be pumping at actually 225, even though it says 200 on there. You know what I mean? And so I do think it's a feel. I don't think you need to progress with as much like pressure as you can tolerate, just like as much weight as you can tolerate. Got Once again, guys. I mean, last time I showed my phone on YouTube, it thought I was showing some sort of nudity or something, and gave me like a warning on my channel. So I'm not showing you my phone, not even messages. But I have a guy, and he goes by the name of O. And I kid you not, in a month, this dude has gained 0.3 inches, okay, in length. Like, maybe more than that. God, I mean, and it's just a erect length, not stretch flaccid length. And he's not even doing that much weight with it. He's like maybe extending with 2.5 inches, not 2.5 pounds. Okay. And so you don't have to have a lot of weight to potentially get the gains that you need. And the more that you try to push the envelope, I don't think more is more. I actually just released a video on why I think less is more, but I think it's a feel. I don't think it's necessarily a hard number. Um, and so I would potentially consider staying more down to the 8 to 10 inches of mercury range rather than trying to push all the way up to 12. Is the answer. So uh, let's see. Because I do think that contributes to the plateau, guys. And once again, there are people that think that newbie gains aren't a real thing, and there are people that I've heard say that, and some of these people I actually like, and I actually trust their opinions. That like, oh, newbie gains aren't real. Okay, I don't know. Maybe that was just a clickbait title or something. I don't know. I didn't actually watch the video, but newbie gains are particularly real in my opinion, and it's exactly because the more stretch stimulus you have, the more collagen is going to be secreted, the more lysyl oxidase is going to be secreted, the more of those chemical signals that can sometimes indicate fibrosis, like that can signal fibrosis, like TGF beta. And so, yeah, you need to be careful with that. So, man, I'm yapping my ass off today, man. Uh, so yeah, thank you for the super chat, bro. D Griff, thoughts on thoughts on layer wheels, man. Um, I I never really I was kind of indifferent, but more so like positive towards him. Like if he did something cool, I would be like, "Oh, good for him," you know? I guys, okay. Um when it comes to marriage, okay, I think marriage is beautiful. I love my wife. She is my world. Okay, I trust her inherently. My literally the passcode to my phone is her birthday, and so like I don't. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is when we got married, I made her sign a prenup. That's a non-negotiable. If you are going to get married, guys, and you have any sort of assets or think you might have any sort of assets, you should get a prenup. It will save you because, guys, the majority of marriages end in divorce. And there's actually data that having a prenup actually will increase the chance of a successful marriage. Okay. Um, so that being said, this dude married a what's her name? I don't definitely don't know her name. A Dubai model, okay, that is clearly a gold digger, and this dude did not get a prenup. And Larry Wheels is also a cuck. So other men are literally porking his wife, and he gets off on that. And now, I'm not saying cuck as a pejorative. I'm saying there is very clear evidence, allegedly, that he texted and was like, ask, I mean, yeah, even Rampage Jackson, if you guys don't care about this BS drama. But like of all the things that I don't respect Larry Wheel for is being stupid enough to marry a model gold digger from Dubai and not getting a prenup. That is the thing that I judge him for. So, and guys, oh well, if you really love somebody, you don't need a prenup. That's not reality, guys. It's not reality. Okay, I don't. All of my money is tied up in my sneakers. God, what was that guy's name? I wish I could remember that guy's name. But but yeah. So all of my assets are just in sneakers in my basement. Meanwhile, this dude was out there buying stocks and bonds. I'm buying sneakers. That's where I'm putting my money. The point is that like I do okay. I'm not fabulously wealthy, but I do just fine for myself. But I still got a prenup, and it was to protect her assets too. Her family has like a cabin somewhere out, in like Utah or something. And if shit goes sour, I don't want to, have to. Oh well, I'm entitled to one weekend every month in that cast. I don't know, man. So the bottom line is, guys, get a prenup. And Larry Wills is an idiot for not getting a prenup. Um, Ronald. I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna nail this so, so well that you are never going to send another one of these. Okay, here we go. Lock in, baby. Sheila, the chef who works at the Shady Shack, serves shakes, shark steaks. Oh, and sheep ribs. Oh, that's hilarious, bro. I think I did pretty well with that. All right. I'm just gonna have to lock in every time. Every time. I appreciate the support, man. My guy Frank says, Hink, you haven't said my name. I'm never gonna say your name, Frank. Never going to say your name, Frank. So give it a rest, bro. Never. Thank you, Ronald, for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you being here, man. Uh So my guy Sigmund Freud, wow, man, your research is very interesting. I don't know how much I believe it, but he says, does stroking your beef affect gains? No. Okay, it can increase your injury risk. Okay, I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't think you should be using your hand to pleasure yourself. Okay, if you are going to choose to do that, I think you should use some sort of sleeve or device, or at the very least, like a lubricated hand, to prevent yourself from having trauma. Um, Yeah. So my guy Ronald said, when it comes to extenders, it's kind of universal. But yeah, you actual like how you set it up, how you adjust the equipment. Yeah, that's in the equipment section. Okay. And there's a whole new chapter at the end of the course and it says equipment. Okay. And it goes through. And if there's anything that is missing, let me know, guys. I thought it was pretty comprehensive. I thought my guy 19 did a great job. But if there's anything missing, I'll make sure to add it. So let me scroll down. My guy Mac Daddy, man. Let's see. So my guy, GHKCU. Can you cover? Thank you for the super chat, Mac. He says, I want to take it for hair loss instead of finasteride. Thank you for being you, Hink. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the super chat. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button for me, it means a lot. I appreciate it. But he says, what are my thoughts on it? So I made 2 videos on GHKCU. Okay. The first video on GHKCU, it was like, I understand why people use this. I don't think you should ever use exogenous. You should use extra copper. Okay. Now that could be in the form of oral copper. That could be in the form of actually potentially like a lotion that has copper in it that you put for your skin health or for wrinkles on your face or whatever it may be. I think you should avoid copper. Okay. There was actually even a very, very interesting post that I saw on Reddit, and it was actually a guy that was trying to induce a copper deficiency. The reason is, guys, copper is one of the substrates, let's just call it that is necessary for Lysyl Oxidase production. And so this is going into the realm of more bro science here, but I mean, there is data to support this. No, it's not bro science. It's science. The more copper that you have in your body, the more lysyl oxidase activity is going to be initiated. And so there was even a study, guys, that looked specifically, I think it was specifically at GHKCU. Don't quote me on that. Double check me on that. But literally, the additional copper increased lysyl oxidase. Guys, lysyl oxidase is the glue that binds your collagen together and makes it hard to grow. But I talked about this in my peptide video from maybe last week. But it literally increased the amount of lysyl oxidase activity by almost twofold. Okay. That being said, my guy, you could still grow taking a copper peptide. Okay. I think that it can. I think that you would still be able to grow with it. My concern with using GHKCU would be long-term gains, okay? Because I think that I think you would plateau faster. Is basically you might gain, but then if you weren't on it, maybe you would gain at a higher rate for a year. But because you're on it, you're only going to gain for a slower rate at 6 months. But if you want to take it for hair loss, talk to your doctor about it. But I don't think that you should let one video or comment from a guy that's a clown in a mask eating eating lasagna in his mom's basement as the gospel of what it is. And I've seen people that, once again, guys, I actually respect their opinion and actually think they know something. And I have seen people say that, yeah, like, I don't really believe that. I think that Hink's kind of full of shit. They didn't really say it like that. And so listen to other people. And so, like, I would also you have to weigh the potential risks and benefits. And so if you are taking if your hair loss is bothering you, personally, I don't think GHKCU is going to replace finasteride. I don't. I don't know. I haven't done a deep dive in that, but if your follicles are miniaturizing because of DHT exposure, having some additional copper, whatever, whatever. That's just me. I'm not a hair loss expert by any means, but I have definitely done some deep dives into hair loss because I've restored my hair like crazy. Um, so that being said, man, it's what's it worth to you, man? If you want to try that, try it for a while. I mean, I highly doubt you're going to be on high GHKCU for just like months and months and months and months. And so taking it for a month or 2 months to see what it does to your hair while you're doing PE, it should be fine. But just keep in mind that it might theoretically might. I can't prove this. There's never been a study shown that yet. Hashtag Hink Trial 3. That might be something that could limit your gains long term. So yes. Let me scroll down. Sorry guys, I'm gonna because I'm actually getting tired again because it's past my bedtime. I'm a Hink. I'm so tough. I go to bed at 9:30 every night, and I'd actually do wake up at 5 every morning. So this is actually legitimately past my bedtime, guys. Um, and now, guys, I don't know if you would call going to bed at midnight a night owl, but for my purposes, I was a night owl. I would go to bed at midnight and wake up at like 7 every morning. My life changed when in residency, Batman cosplaying residency. I started waking up at 5 in the morning and working out before work. If you guys are on the fence and need some additional motivation, I would highly, highly recommend that you consider switching up your routine where you're waking up and getting the stuff that you want to get done first thing in the morning and then going about your day, especially when it comes to working out. I know what happens. You get through a hard work day. I worked hard. And it's like, well, I could make a balanced meal, but no, I'm going to just grab fast food on the way home. And then I'm tired. I could work out, but let me see what's on Netflix. Next thing you know, it's 9 p.m. and you're asleep, and it's a cycle. You wake up, you get that shit done, you get it out of the way, and then you go on about your day. And then when you get tired at home and you're tired, be as tired as you would like to be. Okay, go to bed. Okay, but you have it done. And so if you guys have difficulty being consistent, being motivated, get it done. My guy Sigmund Freud followed up with a super chat. He said, "To what extent does stroking your beef affect gains? Could you do a post or a video on this? Would love to hear you elaborate on this subject, like after or slash before PE." So, my friend, I have made no less than 3 videos on this exact same topic. And so they are older videos, so I don't fault you one bit. Thank you very much for the very generous super chat. But I have made literally 3 videos. If you just search Hink FAP, FAP, I'm pretty sure all 3 videos will come up. The bottom line is, guys, for like the first year, 18 months of doing PE, I could not help myself. And I would definitely release after every single pumping session. It was just like impossible for me not to. It's crazy how my test levels have changed. I imagine my test levels have changed in 5 years. And absolutely still grow. So no, to be very clear, fapping has no potential to slow down your gains, in my opinion. Okay, I do think if the less that you fap, the I don't even know how did the term FAP even come about, but the less you do that, I think the more you'll be in arousal state, and the more you can have persistent blood flow. So I do think it can affect things like your flaccid length, for example. But other than that, and I think the more important thing with um, releasing yourself, especially if you're using your hand, is just the injury risk. If you spend an hour using an extender and then 30 minutes pumping and then stroke your beef, that is a lot of trauma to your D. That to me is the biggest issue with it, is just that additional exposure to trauma. So hopefully that answers your question, man. Please check out those videos. And maybe it's time I make another videos, man. Uh, let's see. All right. Let me praise myself for this one. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, that's extremely generous. He says, I accidentally grew 7+ inches from human average just by clamping during a goon session for CBT. I don't know what CBT is, and randomly woke up. Maybe randomly woke up after a year or so. What is going on right now? Am I measuring right from base uh and pump to grow 5 inches girth? Bro, I am having a hard time deciphering this message. That's hilarious. I'm assuming you're joking about the whole I grew 7 inches from clamping during a goon session that lasted a year or so. Um, and I don't know. I'm assuming the rest of this is in jest as well. But that's hilarious, man. But pump to grow 5 girth. Yeah, I don't know what that means, man. Please clarify, bro. Oh gosh. So contentious statement here. Can I pump with the D ring on? It depends on who you ask. Okay, if you ask somebody like me that is very risk averse, okay, guys, this is not high level evidence. There is a case report. I've presented on it multiple times of a guy that was using a vacuum erection device and using a C ring or a D ring in the pump, and he ended up breaking his D and having to get a penile implant because of the increased pressure. Okay. That is one case report, but it is a case report published in the data. I am extremely risk averse. I don't think adding a C ring is going to add anything meaningful to your pumping session besides additional risk. Okay. Just like wearing it afterwards to have shape retention, derp. I think that's fucking stupid. I've said that for years, and I don't care who says it. I mean, I think that is stupid. And I know you're not asking that, and I'm not calling people who think that that's a good idea stupid. I'm just saying if you think that that's helping you grow, I think that is stupid. All that does is trap additional fluid and make you have a bigger flaccid penis. And so therefore you incorrectly think that you are growing because your flaccid penis is bigger and thicker because you've trapped the fluid in your like subcutaneous tissue, not actually dilating your chambers. It's just they make this argument. It's like, well, you have enough pressure where it keeps the blood in the chambers, but not enough pressure where it causes problems. Like you can't have that both ways. You can't have that both ways. It's just I'll be honest with you guys. It makes me irrationally mad. It makes me irrationally mad. And maybe one day I'll be like, guys, remember all that time I got irrationally mad about that? I was wrong. Maybe that will be the case one day. But that is fucking stupid. And end of story. End of story. And so now, retention using something like potentially a sleeve or retention using a like an all-day stretcher, that makes sense, okay? But put it on a C-ring after you pump. Oh my gosh, man! I got into it. I got into it with the guy like this was like 3 years ago actually, and I ended up making a video, and I took down the video I made because I clowned this dude so goddamn bad. Sorry, God. And then I made a redacted video where I still clowned him. I mean, I actually didn't clown him. I just tried to be more scientific and explain exactly why that's stupid, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion. And maybe somebody needs to make a video and says Hink is the stupid one, and this is why. Because here's why this work. The science, the physiology doesn't make sense for that. So yeah, please don't pump with the C ring on. Now, there are people out there that even talk about something that's called pump assisted clamping. Okay. People I trust, people that are smart. And I still, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. Okay. That's just me. I'm risk averse. I'm just risk averse. Let's see, man. Oh man, Caleb said 6 more likes. I don't wonder how long ago that was. Guys, a few more likes and I'll be at 100, guys. And you know what happens when we get to 100? Is this the fireworks? It's party time, guys. And so I don't know, man. All right, 5 more likes. Man, I am like way behind. Thoughts on SPH? I don't know what SPH is, Vendetta. Uh, Doc 72, my prenup didn't help me, bro. What kind of prenup did you get, dog? Like, that's the whole point of a prenup, is that it's like it clearly defines, okay, this is my money, this is your money, this is our money, this is what we'll split. Okay. And I just to that point, so my guy Doc said his prenup didn't help him, but um to my point is that I have all my Batman hospital money comes into a joint checking account between me and my wife. Okay. If shit goes sour, I'm not going to be a douchebag and try to like take it out before we split or anything. That is going to be something that we will split. Personally, I take money. I'm not going to tell you guys quantity wise, but I take a significant amount of money and I put it away and I give it to my wife. I just say, this is your money. Invest it. You know, actually, no, I just invest it for her because one of my friends does um, my financials for both me and my wife, and so I give it to him and I just say, invest it for her. And so she has her own account. She has her own money. So she is going to be good. But like my money, my assets, my house, my I don't know, soon to be one day, once you guys finally actually start being generous with super chats and I can get my titanium Santos. I'm joking. That's the stuff that we say, okay, this is the real anyways, man. So I'm sorry, Doc 72, man. That sucks. um, Damn. And my guy Jamie says, I've had two prenups and used them both. Ex-wives didn't even try to fight back. Bro, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not taking indirect shots at you, Doc 72. I'm really backed up on these chats, guys. But guys, if you're gonna get married, get an airtight prenup, period. I mean, and you should argue that if she really loves you, she should want to sign a prenup because it's not about money, it's about her love for you. And if she doesn't sign a prenup or refuses to sign a prenup, that is the like brightest red flag I think you could possibly wave. Now, guys, it was awkward as F when I said, baby, I love you more than anything, but we have to sign a prenup before we get married. It was very, very awkward. Okay. But yeah, it was necessary, man. So my guy, Houdini, he says, how do I measure my bone press erect flaccid girth? Uh can I okay. I'm like, bro, what? What? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to make a device that has like a ruler on one hand and then like a tape on the other, so you can bone press and then measure your flaccid girth. Yeah, erect flaccid girth. All right, that's hilarious. Thank you for the super chat, bro. You got me. You actually got me. And he said, "Can I gain 3 inches in 3 weeks?" Yes, guys. Yes, you can gain 3 inches in 3 weeks. Oh, but there's a catch, guys. This information is top secret and it's only on my course and only I know that information, okay? Because I am so smart that I've thought about stuff that nobody else has ever thought of, and I have put it exclusively in my course behind a paywall. So yes, you can gain 4 inches in 4 weeks. Actually, guys, obviously I'm joking, okay? I'm joking, but I swear there are people who, I have the secrets. There's no fucking secrets, guys. It's tension and consistency, man. uh so my guy D Griff, Dr. Rachel Ross is the only doctor who says PE works besides you, Batman. So, yes and no. Yes and no. And so, when it comes to, so like Rena Malik admits that extenders work, and so that is saying that PE works. Okay, there's a guy. His name is Eurochannel. He's a German guy. I think he's German. He has pretty good information. Okay, in fact, he has a video that I responded to, and it says, "Don't jelk." Okay, and I changed it to say, "Don't fucking jelk." Sorry, guys, I'm being a potty mouth, as Caleb says. Um, I have a dirty little mouth. Who's gonna punish me later, guys? Holler at me on Grinder. Um, but there are urologists that will admit, and even like Raina Malik will say, like, "Oh yeah, there's data that pumping improves penile size in people that have had prostate surgery." And so there are some docs that actually someday say it. So I'm not the only one in the hospital cosplaying as Batman that believes it. And in fact, I talked to a client recently, and his urologist was actually on board with the stuff that he was doing from a enlargement perspective. I was actually very surprised by that. So yeah, man. So thank you, D Griff. Very generous super chat, man. I really appreciate you, bro. Uh, yeah. So Philip says, I don't know, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but he says lysyl oxidase LOX is a copper dependent enzyme. It's literally copper dependent, and so if you can deplete copper, I mean, I don't recommend you try to go into like a copper freaking depleted state. But fun fact, zinc will actually reduce your copper threshold, and so there are some people that will actually supplement with additional copper when they're taking zinc for that reason. Okay. Um, but yeah, he says it catalyzes the cross-linking of collagen and elastin. I mean, that's a chat GPT version of what I said about basically strengthening the bonds. But yeah, bro, like you don't want copper. Like you don't want copper. For, for enlargement purposes, okay? It's great for your skin. It's great for wrinkles. No question about that. Let's see, man. All right, let me scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. How do I measure my bone press erect flaccid girth? Oh man, that was you got me, man. Let's see. My guy right now, he said, I don't even know who this is. Yeah, no comment, man. No fucking comment. Let me put up another. Let me just hide that comment. Thank you for the super chat, bro. There are certain things that I'm just not gonna be talking about, and certain things that I will just for the rest of my life you will never hear me mention certain things. Um, let's see. Sorry guys, I'm scrolling through these chats. I've done so much yapping. I apologize, man. Hopefully it's been mildly entertaining. Aha! Huh. So my guy says, Balantier says, I don't think you're using your fancy mic, Kink. Let me see. I'm not. Oh, now I changed it to the Shure mic. That's annoying. I'm sorry, guys. Um, the one thing that I think matters way more than actually audio than video quality is audio quality. So if I sounded like dog shit, I mean, clearly that's the first person that said it an hour and 12 minutes into this. But that's frustrating because for me, this mic was like $50. Okay, I think that's a lot of money. I mean, that costs more than like the shirt and the pants that I bought times two from Old Navy on discount. So yeah, man. Uh, so thank you, Balantier, for pointing that out, man. So my guy Billy, he says, is supplementing with glycine and collagen bad for gains? And so I don't know, man. In the sense that I have my theory there without a doubt. Okay, with you, if you supplement collagen, you will have higher collagen levels. Period. End of story. The question is, what do those collagen levels mean? Okay, I once again, if you look at the data that looks at the stretch response that collagen does when you have a fibroblast that is stretched, okay, it secretes collagen. I don't understand how that could be a good thing to have additional collagen secretion because those same fibroblasts once again also secrete lysyl oxidase. And if you look at the data, once again, lysyl oxidase is a glue, okay? But if you look at the data, you will see that higher collagen is basically hand in hand with higher lysyl oxidase. Okay, and so I mean, but I don't know that supplementing with collagen automatically means higher lysyl oxidase levels, okay? And so if you are taking collagen because it helps with your joints, it helps you with bodybuilding, okay? It helps you with your muscles. There's a lot of data for that. Or you just really like eating meat and have a lot of natural collagen, then by all means continue doing that. I asked my guy Perv about, what his take was, and he was basically like, okay, so even if it does, basically, what does it matter? And I don't want to put
words in his mouth. Um, but, uh but, uh but yeah, and so it depends on what's more important to you. Some theoretical thing that I'm talking about from my mom's basement, versus the known and proven scientific benefits of supplementing with collagen. And so you gotta weigh what it's worth to you. Because once again, my concern is a long-term plateau. So, um, guys, I think I caught up on all my super chats, and it is 9:30. I'm gonna be a mess tomorrow. I still gotta put my dogs out. I gotta show you guys I'll show you guys a video of my boys, man. They're 5 months old. They're so painfully cute. Oh my gosh. They're so cute. They're American Coon Hounds is what they're called, and the name cracks me up every time, okay? Oh, man. Yes, I made that joke during Black History Month. At me. No, don't at me, guys. I don't want smoke. I do not want the smoke, man. Um, but yeah. Uh The German urologist, he said Stephen Guntag. I wonder if that's actually his name or if you were just saying, like, Guten Tag. But yeah, guys, alright. I love you guys, I appreciate you guys. Discoloration video probably coming on Friday, so stay tuned for that. I might do a video about there's a billionaire who ended up, basically, he's not here anymore after a botched penis enlargement surgery, and so I do wanna talk about that. That might be Friday, we'll have to see, but I love you guys, I appreciate you the support, that you guys have done. Thank you for all the very generous super chats. Thank you for you guys who didn't donate but are just here. Thank you for the comments. Hopefully, you guys had a good discussion. I really, really, really sincerely appreciate you guys, and, yeah, and so thank you. I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, peace and love.